Bump back up to. Yeah. I'm not getting that service. Okay. It's okay. Yeah, it'll be added for access. Yeah. I think I'm good here. Good. Yes, sir. Well, it's a little upset by her. Oh, yeah, well, you know it. And the manufacturer too. Thank God. They gonna say either, so. It's they just, but you don't mean now when you lose the game, you should win. Yeah.
Welcome everybody to Stark County, Eatonville, Florida, regular council meeting. Today is Tuesday, November 4th. And Madam Chair, clerk, do we have a quorum?
And just to confirm the time, it is 7:34. And Councilman Mack?
Here.
Councilwoman Randolph? Here. Councilman Daniels? Vice Mayor Washington?
Present.
And currently the Mayor Gardner is out.
Instead for invocation, moment of silence. Think about Dick Cheney, he passed today. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the
Which is sacred,
one nation.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Proof of the agenda, we have a amendment.
Request from the clerk's office, I would like to pull the minutes. Just want some additional time to review and make sure that, they're at a final state. We'll bring them back to the next meeting.
So we moving number 5.
Moving number 1.
Oh, that's 5. No, second 5.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Anything you can add in members, the discussion for the ad ordinance discussion under what we prep.
Yep, ordinance 2025-6, so for this reference.
That the other citizen participation.
You want to approve the agenda first?
I'm not saying.
After citizen
Put it
participation.
down at
Oh, yes.
put it down after the citizen participation.
Yes.
Wants to approve agenda.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Next we have citizen participation.
Yes, we have, Ms. Joyce Arby.
Bring your good topics.
Good evening, council, citizens, guests. Today I only have good things to say. Like, I really want to thank, first of all, the council members. It takes a lot of time to research and even know what we're talking about. And it's a lot of time. And I want to thank you for taking the time to come in here and do this on a regular schedule, because it would drive me nuts. But thank you. You guys just work. And I was going to give the mayor a compliment, but she's not here. But Mr. Daniels, I want to thank you for bringing your professionalism, your need for accountability, your corporate experience. It's a place I know you love. I speak with you and ask you questions. You don't give me any squirrely talking. You just answer the question. I appreciate that. If more people knew about that in the town, they would appreciate it, and I'm sure they will grow to appreciate it as well. And I hope you stick around for a long time. Katrina, oh, thank you. I've been bugging Katrina all day. Thank you for action And just thank everybody who works here, who does their job, who's often unacknowledged. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, but you guys are all appreciated. No, I know.
We have Mr. Kelvin. Come.
Good evening to the Vice Mayor, Council, citizens, guests. My name is Kelvin Franklin. My family and I, we reside at 133 Thompson Avenue, Maitland, Florida. The Eatonville Chamber and Welcome Center, in partnership with the Community Nook, extends a sincere thank you to the Eatonville community. Eatonville Trunk or Treat team is growing. This year, our trunk team consisted of new and old Eatonville residents, as well as community partners. We provided candy, treats, games, and smiles for trunk or treaters of all ages. Some of the participants said they've been participating with us since the beginning and plan to continue. We were even more impressed to notice that we didn't find any litter after the event. Please don't forget our annual friendship around the world. Bring a dish that made you smile when you was a kid. Let's see here. And the other one we had was, we're having our 5th annual Friendsgiving Day gathering. Bring a meal again that made you smile as a kid. That is the date and time of November 27th, 2025, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And if I may, I'd like to piggyback on the lady that came before me, and I'd like to speak as a former commissioner. Your mom would be proud. You're doing an outstanding job. For these little 2 months that I've seen, she would be proud of you, okay? Thank you.
I have too many dishes to make, but I'm like, thank you, kid. Thanks.
That was the last one.
Last one.
Yep.
Senator Miss Monday.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Council, residents, and guests. We're here to talk about the proposal of a local business preference ordinance. We feel it's in the best interest of the town's residents, businesses, and commerce and economic development of the town in light of the infrastructure dollars that are coming in. We right now have almost $50 million already encumbered, and we have or in our possession. And we have additional funds that are applied for. We think that it's very important right now to have a local preference program to make sure that our local businesses are included in this and not overlooked by contractors. So that come in and do these large projects. So what you have before you is a proposal for an ordinance. We do have to go through 2 readings on this ordinance, and so I suspect that this is not the first reading. This is just a presentation to get questions out, and it was supposed to be part of the workshop, but we're extending this to be able to do that. 2 of the things that, if you've had a chance to take a look at it, what this ordinance will allow for local businesses who do work or have their addresses in the town can apply for a business tax receipt, and they can become certified as a local business. Once you are a local business, you have that designation. And one of the things that really prompted this is the elimination of DEI programs. The DEI programs, when we first started, we're going to have an opportunity to have minority and women-owned businesses, and the state even allowed it at the time to ensure that minority businesses were included in all of the infrastructure capital improvements. Because a lot of those have gone aside, astray, or whatever, this next opportunity to have a local business presence will enable our local businesses. And there are many local businesses that have come forth when we had the Mayor's Business Development Training Academy. We had 50 participants in the program, and there were many that couldn't even get in the program because they were too late. And the chamber can attest to this, and Mo can attest to this too, who had taken the leadership in this program. So what our next step now is to get something on the books so that we can make sure our small businesses and local businesses take advantage of this. And it'll also contribute to the town's revenue for business tax receipts. In the definition of the ordinance, and I'm not gonna be long with this, but one of the things that I did want to bring to your attention is that the language indicates that the vendor would have to have a business tax receipt, be certified 6 months prior to bid opening day. I do want to put that on the table because we already have we have two active bids right now. And the water treatment plant project, we expect is going to be out to bid in January. It will not allow for this program to be in place. And the water treatment plant we're expecting it to be about $14 million in funding. So we want to make sure see if there's a way that we can get this program up and running, people certified, and be able to bid on the many trades that will come out of the water treatment plant. So would like to put an asterisk and get your opinion on when we can, if you all are in favor of this, when we can implement this program. The other thing that is in question here in my mind that I'd like to bring to the table so we can correct it before the ordinance comes down is, do we want to have brick and mortar? Do we want to have incubator businesses, or will post office boxes be sufficient? So remember, there are people who are outside of Eatonville who can also participate, and we want to build up business tax receipt revenue. So I think this whole thing needs to be taken a look at to see what do we want to do. We have vacant offices. We have a strip mall next door that has a high vacancy rate. We want to get businesses in the town to participate. So those are two of the things that I flagged that might want to, encourage some conversation on that. But essentially, there are benefits to this program, and I would like to turn it over to Attorney Shepherd, maybe to talk about this some more because he's taken this model from the city of Apopka. And would you mind talking a little bit about where the origin of this came from?
No, there have been a number of opportunities to approach this, some much longer and more complicated. This was sort of a hybrid of what I'd seen versus what I thought would be good for the town. And as Ms. Lundy has said, there's a lot of reasons to do it, but the primary reason to do it here is because of the elimination of all the DEI programs, which political commentary I thought was stupid, but they didn't ask me. And this is particularly for a town like Eatonville. This is a good way to sort of bridge that gap because so many of your local businesses would also qualify under the other standard, and yet this will capture them, at least many of them, in the same manner, and give them the opportunity with some preference consideration to get jobs that are going to come out not only just out of this massive influx of capital for these improvements, but also for anything else that we have, because there's a number of things I could see on our horizon, particularly if the Hungerford deal goes the way we would like it to, where we have a large say in what gets built and where. And so that this is a good program. Now, that doesn't mean there won't be things here you want to tweak, fix, make it where you think it's more to exactly your liking, but that's why it's here and was this Monday's suggestion, and this is what we came up with.
So, what I was gonna say, council, also, what we brought to a workshop is the idea for us to talk through this now. Not necessarily have to rush it, but we'll have individual meetings and give you all time to talk with Attorney Shepherd so we can fully get it through the process. So, the idea is not necessarily bringing back this next meeting, but probably the first meeting in December is to have it, will be the first official reading for it. But that gives us adequate time to give input, insight, and then we can tweak this document so we won't have any stalemates down the line. Sorry about that.
Well, I have a couple questions. Okay, so Attorney Shepherd have already reviewed this.
I actually put it together.
Put it together, okay, good. Well, put it together, and I know it's right. Okay, I have a couple questions. The local business must have a tax receipt, town of Eatonville, correct? Right. Now, would this also be inclusive of a business tax receipt from Orange County? Because when you apply for a license, what is it? Business
It's
tax
factored into the system for receipt for taxes. They used to call them occupational licenses, then they got away from that because we don't license anybody.
Not licensed, but the business tax, is this gonna require them to have one also from Orange County?
Wherever they do business, they're typically required to have that jurisdiction's occupational, what used to be occupational license, but instead business tax receipt. So if they did business here and had the main office here, they would definitely have. But if they were doing businesses in Apopka, had an office there, they would have to pay it there and so forth. So it matters. We have one office in Maitland, we pay the business tax receipt for the city of Maitland.
Okay. I was just asking because I'm required to have two for whatever reason. Okay.
Would
But
you
anyway.
recommend, are you recommending that?
From Orange
They should have
County.
one. They already have one at their business already.
But
If they're already in the
it's
business,
required.
they should have a business license where they posted it on their address.
I was just asking that question because I saw something on some website this past weekend, just kind of. Just make sure we verify that they're not required to have an Orange County or just Eatonville.
It's county and the town.
County,
And
yeah.
it's an interesting thing because, among other brilliant ideas coming out of Tallahassee, one of the things that we're going to consider doing away with is the business tax receipt situation altogether.
Mhm.
And which would have been terrible. And one of the things that was going on at the time is the county was working with various municipalities like Apopka to capture all the various businesses who weren't paying their tax. Because there's so many businesses that operate out of their homes or do businesses that are never registered. And therefore, Uncle Sam, or in this case, Uncle Ron, doesn't get his share of the pie. And so, that is the reality, but at least so far it has avoided, the business tax receipts program has avoided the acts. We will see.
Okay, several things I'm looking at for consideration for some answers, and it is what's the whole process of how this is all going to work. Now, if you have a timeline, whereas work is going to start at a certain time. So what is going to happen? You're going to be posting positions on the website so that way our contractors, potential contractors, can sign up. And who will be the person to make the selection as to who's going to get the bid? Now, how is that going to work? Internally or externally?
Well, there's a number of things that will happen. We will go through the normal procurement process. And GCI, who's also represented here, is going to work with us to guide us in that procurement process. But it is a typical bid, but what will happen is the general contractor will benefit, and they will get points or they will get an advantage in their bid by utilizing local businesses that are certified. So, for example, hypothetically, if it's $100,000 bid, they may get a $25,000 advantage in their bid that would lower their bid if they use local businesses. That's a bad example because we have to have real numbers to be able to tell you the exact. And I think we can put together cases so you can actually see what that would be. So it's encouraging larger businesses to work with our local businesses.
So Councilwoman, I refer to this way since you work for the post office, how you have veteran preference.
Yes.
It's almost like a preference, so you get additional points added to you for utilizing this method.
Yeah, okay. Okay, long as it's a program with fairness and we're doing things the right way.
Absolutely.
And not that the same person will be the person all the time. Now, how will we, how do we reach that level? So that way it doesn't look like we're not being fair, that the same contractor is getting the bid. But you also have others who also qualify. So on the point system, based upon what you're saying, if you're getting preference, then the preference contractors more than likely will get more points than the ones who are scored on another.
So Ms. Monday, I'll step in for a second. So Councilwoman, when it comes down to procurement and bidding, we don't have a set team of people, depending on what it is. It's different people that grade. They grade individually a score, and then it comes out. So we record everything. It's an open process. It's recorded. It's in an open forum, so anybody can come in here and sit and watch us do it and all that. So there really shouldn't be a way that happens unless, someone, is actually the best candidate, Now, if they're the best ones, we're going to go with whoever the best and who's doing the suitable job for the historic town of Beanville. It's not about, and staff will tell you as we've been going through this process, it's not about being a preference towards it's what's going to benefit the town, if it's going to hit the time frame, if it's going to hit the budget. It's all those factors that's and then they're given a score sheet where they go through and they score it, and then we go from that standpoint.
And construction, this I think is 100%, Attorney Shepherd, please clarify, this is 100% construction bidding. So typically, construction bidding is low bid. There is no subjectivity. When it comes to engineering services, for example, architectural services, those are required by state to be experience-based, and references and some of those, that's professional services is subjective based on experience and the like. But we're talking about this ordinance, strictly construction, it's strictly low bid, as long as they meet the requirements. So if you have the same contractor that coming in and skilled enough to get the low bid, they may be continuously at the table unless we determine they have too much work.
Yes.
Clarify.
The RF, that's the difference. You've heard the expression RFQ and RFP. RFQ is governed by rules that require that the proposers don't put in price, and that the choosers, the committees that review them before they come before you, don't consider price. In fact, that's the basis for a bid protest, one which we're had just addressed this week for the city of Putnam. And it's because of what Ms. Mundy said, they're based on the qualifications. That's what RFQ part means. Okay? So it's architects, engineering services, and so forth. That's what that's about. RFPs, as she also said, are requests for proposals where you're actually getting a proposal to do a certain scope of work, and it's so the price figures largely. You're not required, depending on how you write your bid documents, to always take the lowest bid, but you would typically take the lowest bid because you have to look at where they responsive to every aspect. Did they get all, if you have add-ins that you need to consider, did they include those, or did they take some of those out that would eliminate? So there's a number of factors, but low price is large on that list if everything else is equal.
Last but not least, post office. Post office boxes should not be used for establishing an address unless it's a mailing address. Like this is where I get my mail from, but you got to have a physical address. So I just want to because I know there's a lot of things that goes on with post office boxes that people who are opening post office boxes for various reasons, and they're not being very truthful about what they're actually doing.
And that's the type of feedback we're looking at. There is a line in here that says PO boxes are not verifiable. It's exactly what you just said, and shall not be used for the purpose of establishing physical address. What are your thoughts about incubators? About to build one, I think we have a couple that may be, I think there was the intent to have one at the chamber. I know Amina across the street has office space. So in terms of incubators, what are your thoughts on incubators as
I consider that, more, it all depends on what they're using it for. If some are using it for, if an incubator is providing like office, a desk, a computer, whatever, let's just say the administrative thing. I don't know, Mr. Shepherd, whether or not that would suffice as a actual business, cause see, I have people that I know who have a business. They use an incubator, but they may have a storage somewhere, one of these storage units, on Forest City Road or whatever. But they have a legitimate business. So it all depends on, I guess, if they're just using it just to get mail, that would be the same as a post office box to
So
me.
how this is gonna be determined is ultimately how the council feels comfortable defining the term local. And so whatever the requirements are that you want them to check the boxes, and let's say, hey, I'm just making the numbers. Let's put, if you have 5 boxes, then you have to check these 3 of them. Okay, that's one way to do it. Say, they have to have their registered office with the state of Florida has to be in the town of Eatonville. That's another way to do it. And so it could be that they operate out of a location like I do in Maitland, but I'm all over the place. I mean, so y'all will ultimately decide what makes them local. And that's what we'll put in the ordinance.
And being a good steward, I think, thing is, giving them a post office that bring revenue to the town, giving them the tax license, bring money to the community, to the town. So it's all about them signing up and getting those funds for the towns in the license process and in the postal process of bringing that box. So don't look at it and say, well, no, we don't want to do that. No, you want to do that. My thing is, I will ask the questions, how many people signed up after the class to get a business license? That's be the part of the criteria. We gave them 10%, 20% off. If they sign up after they graduate from the class, they get their license. They have no file now. We have to wait 6 months. They've already been in process. I already had that one part done, but the paperwork.
right?
That's something we should have done in the class, saying, okay.
We were working with several, you have different levels of you got mom and pop that may work out of a pickup truck. That's the last piece we have to look at is will a home office qualify as a business location, and can they get the business tax receipt using their home address?
Well, you go by their tax
You
return.
can.
Yeah, you can. You use their taxes, where they file their taxes, what address they use on their taxes.
Mhm.
And that's the address we use. That's saying they're a legit business. And when they file with the Department of Revenue, I don't know if they file with the Department of Revenue to pay their sales taxes, because most of them should be part of the Department of Revenue. Pay their monthly
Like the DR13s, DR14s and all that kind of stuff.
You should be part of that. So my thing is, yeah, we definitely need to have them get the license, occupation license, or tax, what we want to call it, and the post box, PO box.
Well, Vice Mayor, I would say the post office box, though, we get no revenue
We
from
don't get no
that. That
revenue
goes
from
to
the
the,
post office box.
yeah.
And that's something that work out too. We can't even get pimped like that.
We don't get no revenue from the post office, period.
So that's what I just said. We need to work this out. That's your job.
I got a suggestion.
Okay.
My suggestion would be, just looking for the definition of local, go canvass a number of the ordinances that are out there. And instead of giving you the entire ordinance, say, this is how this one defines local, this is how that one defines local, and then you can see what's out there and pick what suits you. And you can make sure.
Right. So, and I'll tell council and vice mayor, that's what we've been doing. I've been telling staff, we don't have to be smart. We can look at other municipalities.
That is smart.
I mean, so, and we're taking that information and that's how we're changing a lot of things around. So, I do like that idea. I would just suggest that over these next week or so, if you all want to set time with, Attorney Shepherd and give your feedback, then Attorney Shepherd, maybe we can redline it and bring it back, so then when we go to come with the document, it should make this whole process a lot easier and simplified.
Have you guys had opportunity, to brainstorm about this whole situation during, this Monday? Because I think it would probably be in our best interest to let you guys handle that, part of how we're gonna move forward with doing it, and then bring it back to us. And if we have to tweet it or what have you, we can, do so. But I think we should definitely leave that in you guys' hand versus sitting here letting us make decisions on things that,
If that, Councilman Mack, if that's y'all desire, we as a staff will take it back and we can come back and just give you a conclusion of what we think. If it's 5 or 7 options, that's what we'll do, and then.
let us choose from either
Right,
one.
and then if y'all say we come back with 7, and you say, okay, they gotta have 4 out of 7. If they got 4 out of 7, then they consider it local, then that's what we can implement, so then it can be broad, but then we also can make it more concrete for what needs to be
I think
done.
that would be the best suggestion because, sitting up there, allowing us to sit here and, I got too many other things to be doing. That's what we got staff for, you know what I'm saying? To, kind of recognize things that need to be done. That would be, good for this particular, and it's a great thing that we got here. So, hopefully we can move forward doing something that's gonna make sense. So, yeah, that's my suggestion. That's just my suggestion.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Reports. Attorney? Have nothing. Things, see.
So just give you all some updates. Evaluations are complete. The only exception is the directors and the town clerk. For the town clerk, I'm gonna need feedback from you all. We'll send you all a form, and then y'all can collectively rate her. And then what we'll do, we'll just take an average, and then that'll be what her number will be for the town clerk's evaluation. Also, along with the evaluations, I've heard it from residents, I've heard it from you all. We'll also be coming up with a policy for a merit policy. We're not gonna wait till the end, so it'll be merit, so we can just move forward and get past that. That policy is actually about 90% complete. Job descriptions review. It won't be for voting matter just yet, but we'll be submitting to you all by November 18. Updated job descriptions with salary ranges according to the study that was done. So we'll be able to go. Also, a good tool just to give y'all a little feedback. We pay for ADP. We pay a lot of good money for ADP, and they have resources there that will go through and analyze a lot of this stuff for us and give us national and local ranges. So a lot of our job descriptions will be updated with current information, and we'll be bringing that back to you all. We've decided to stop, instead of bringing it back one piece at a time, just bring them all back to you at once. You all your feedback. Same kind of thing we talked about doing with the ordinance. We'll make whatever suggestion, and then we can just pass them all through. Updated right now, the personnel manual, we're looking at updating the personnel manual. We're about 25% on that. The hybrid policy that Councilwoman Randolph has been asking to make sure that we put it in place is 90% complete. So probably by next council meeting, that'll be coming back to you all. Electronic permit is at about 20%. Have been looking at the city of Apopka and the city of Orlando on how they do stuff. So a lot of stuff we're trying to make it now is we're bringing technology and AI into it, because that's gonna make us more effective and more efficient in the way we do work. Trying to keep costs down. We know healthcare cost of employees. Our idea right now is to make a lot of stuff electronic and technology wise to compensate for our differences. Our ADP configuration is about 75%. We also are working on updating our travel policy. I think Ms. Gibson told me the travel policy is about 10, 15 years old. So we're gonna update the travel policy. I mean, we had per diem down for $30. I don't know when was the last time someone went to for $30 per diem for a whole day. So we're gonna update that. the audit, Ms. Gibson has already talked about, we're working on the audit right now. And we're striving hard to have the audit done by March. We're also doing a budget analysis, so we're looking at a lot of the budget line items. How can we save? Ms. Gibson is after me right now, but I have a strong feeling. I'm telling her I want to find a way by the end of January, February to save $150,000. Don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. So we're definitely going towards that. Councilwoman, I heard you saying it. It's already written down, so you can't say I wrote it down. The special events policy, we are getting ready to bring that back to you, and I'm gonna run it through Attorney Shepherd and stuff as well. Our special events policy, I don't think is concrete enough. I think there's some loopholes in it. I think we're losing out on opportunities, not necessarily to make money, but to be able to cover the town. So instances that like when events are going on at the town, we need to have town staff there. You know, no one should just be able to just have an event and we don't have paid staff there to control the scenarios and stuff like that. When it comes down to application, if you submit an application, and I keep using the city of Apopka because I'm looking at Apopka, Winter Park, Orlando, Maitland, Castleberry, or like the and Ocoee are the cities and municipalities that we're comparing to right now. In order to submit a special event application, you pay them $50, whether you do it or not, because people will get you to do all this work for them. They say, no, we don't want to do it, and you don't waste all this time and effort. So we're looking at application fees. Also, Attorney Shepherd, I know I owe this to you. The charitable donation policy, Attorney Shepherd needs to vet that, and then that will be coming back to us next meeting. The CRA is having just for your knowledge, they're having a groundbreaking ceremony on 11/12/25 for the 140 West Street. And then upcoming events, to be determined. I don't know if we're gonna do it on the first council meeting in December or the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We're gonna do the Christmas tree lighting. We put all this effort in. It does us no good to do Christmas tree lighting a week before Christmas because I mean that's a waste of effort. So we're looking at doing the Christmas tree lighting either on the first Tuesday of December or the Saturday prior to that. Councilwoman, you can talk about your annual Thanksgiving food giveaway. Cooking with Kim's on 11/26 and Christmas on the Boulevard is 12/18. And that's my report. Thank you.
I forgot to say one thing. I am not aware of any new law.
Anybody?
I think I scratched it.
Councilwoman,
Okay, good evening, everybody. Glad to see everyone here. Okay, just some things are just a follow up. Okay, let's see here. First thing, I want to just mention that tonight, I think I signed about $5,000 worth of pay for police officers for overtime or bringing in on their day off.
Those are not necessarily overtime, Councilwoman. If they go to special events, they did an event, I think it was at UCF and all those are off duties. Any overtime will have to go through their their ADP cycle. If you're signing a
Okay.
check, that's for extra duty pay.
I was just concerned about that.
Yes, ma'am. And we'll watch overtime. I feel a memo out, Chief, I think it was a month ago, that only overtime has to be authorized through me.
Yeah.
those off duty assignments, they got paid for that. The money came, have to be filtered through the town and the town paid them a check.
Okay, now, the reason why I brought that up, because with all the events that we're having, who's paying for the public safety expenses for those events?
Those events.
So whoever is doing it, so when the Stogies event happened, the CRA paid. When this last weekend for the night market, they paid for it. And it has to be paid in advance. And that's one of the things that we're gonna change. Normally it's like 24 hours in advance.
Mhm.
I'm actually trying to push it up to at least a week in advance that those things need to be paid.
Okay.
Yeah, they filtered through the
Remember,
town.
I'm all concerned about the town's budget, okay? No matter who's handling this, but, okay, next is, when we had things, if all possible, can we have the grant writer to do a report as a staff person? Because we never hear from the grant writer. What's going on with the grants, what grants are being, she's working on, or anything like that, since we have an employee working from home. That would be a tremendous understanding as to what's going on with grant writer and what she's doing.
Yes, ma'am, I'll add that on.
Okay, thank you. We had a wonderful tour last Monday at Holstein, and I think that tour brought on an understanding about what Holstein is and what is not. First of all, it's not an office technology or office building, like most people probably was thinking. But there's a lot of things that we learned about the data center, which a lot of us, I've never been inside one of those corporate data centers. And we're so proud to have that particular facility here. I know Mr. Manning been going through a lot. We just had a fire last week at the facility. And so what I'm saying is there's only 5 of those in the whole world. We happen to have this center here in Eatonville. So we had anywhere from 20 to 25 people that showed up at the tour. And I think it was a learning experience for all of us to learn more about what the facility has and how it's going to benefit Eatonville, not only benefit Eatonville, but the whole world. So that was a plus. And I appreciate those who attended. We already talked about the street parking that was on my list. Clark Street, that was on my list. Also, the Thanksgiving, I think we have one more meeting before the Thanksgiving event, I believe. But please, 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 if you didn't get one in your water bill, I'm quite sure you can pick up one here at Town Hall. Okay. And that's going to be November the 24th. Also, I want to get an understanding about the work from home policy from the council. Did we pass that for the table, or we said we're going to work on it, or what? That was resolution 2025-14.
You said you're gonna let the administrator.
What did we say?
And
That would be
then they'll bring it back,
administration?
present it back to us,
Okay.
whatever they come up with.
So do you know when that will be ready?
That's the one I talked about in my report. It's 90%, so we can bring it back to you on next council meeting.
Okay. All right, and have we met with or maybe transfer this interest to the Historic Preservation Committee on the cemetery? And also want to know how they're doing on the study. What's the study on that historic preservation study? Has that started yet? I believe it has.
It has started. They have had surveyors out collecting data, so that has been going on, and I can get your report on that as well.
Okay.
On the site? On that site you're doing it? What you doing the study at?
No, they had the historic preservation that had part of that grant. They had people walking around and getting information from residents and different people.
Yeah, so what I understand, the east side is historic preservation, but not everything on the east side.
Correct.
So that's what they're doing. They're gathering data and information.
And only a certain part of the town is historic district, not the entire town.
All right, I believe that's all I have in my notes. And also you had mentioned something about Mrs. King. Is there a form that we're gonna have for evaluation? What?
It's the evaluation form. So I think the fairest way for Ms. King is for me to send it to you all. It's a number system, and it's like from 1 to 5. Whatever numbers you all give her, then we'll take an average of those numbers, and then we'll complete her her evaluation for Ms. King.
Okay.
Because I'm hired by the council, you have to evaluate.
We get your ring back since we ain't do it last time. Okay.
Yes. Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day.
Councilman Matt.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Thanks for just being engaged in town business. Thank everybody for coming out this evening. First of all, I would like to give my condolences to anybody that have suffered any loss. I know we got a lot of people down at a rapid rate. And, my condolences go to anybody that have suffered any, loss in this community or outside this community. Also, I wasn't able to attend to, the, 1887 first event. It's always a great event. And this is like one of the one times that I wasn't able to attend because my son was actually playing in the playoff game, doing Pop Warner, so I was, not able to do it, but I seen the pictures and videos and you guys look like you had a good time. So a shout out to, Julian Johnson for doing such a, sensational job with, that particular thing that he puts together also. And then also I missed the, bike ride that I look forward to every first Saturday with the Stanleys out here. You guys do a great job. I appreciate the engagement that y'all bring to the community. It's such a thrill just to get out there on every first Saturday of each month. And I'm disappointed I done missed like 2 straight. So I can't promise you that I'll be at the next because I'm so busy right now. But thank you for everything that y'all do, seriously. And the event that was put on by CRA and Vice Mayor Washington, it was a great event. It was an opportunity to get out there and promote and do things that's gonna be sustainable for the community. We had a lot of people show up. It was a great atmosphere, positive vibes and, it was just great music, people performing, and I look forward to that also, every quarter. So, kudos to you, Vice Mayor, for what you bring to the table with doing that event also. And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the staff. I know you guys, come in here, you do your jobs. I know you do it to the best of your ability. I know you don't get all the credit that you feel like you deserve. I know a lot of people feel like they should be getting paid more than what they are. But I appreciate what you guys bring to the table on a daily basis. And speaking of that, I think you guys have a tremendous leader that's leading the way right now as the CAO, the Chief Administration Officer. From my tenure of sitting up here, almost 10 years, I can't recall us moving in the movement that we're moving in now with so many different things happening and the movement that he's doing that's making us more efficient. So I appreciate everything that you bring to the table, man, in terms of just the professionalism, making sure that the staff is doing their job and just all the other different components that you've added. So, just thank you for everything that you do on a daily basis as well. I will speak about this, but I'll speak with you privately. I know I said I was gonna speak with Ms. Monday about it, but about the bidding process for the community policing center down in Catalina Park. I know we've had engagement, but I think we need to have more engagement before we go into the bidding process of that. I know we've put it out there in terms of the procurement or how we did it, but I think we definitely need to have more conversation before moving forward with that. But we will have more of a lengthier conversation, Mr. Daniels.
Yes.
Also, partnership. I know we had spoke about our youth in our community, and having a Boys and Girls Club in our community, and we had to have kids bust over or however they're gonna get over to a school that I believe is in Seminole County, if I'm not mistaken. It may be Orange County, but I don't, that's not a good look. So I think we need to get to a better place and having better partnership with the Boys and Girls Club in terms of just being able to share that facility with them because they do have a 99-year contract with the town of Eatonville. So I would, hope that they could, at least have some kind of idea how we can, move forward with being a little bit more successful in helping our youth in our own community. So Chief, I know you're very involved with the Boys and Girls Club, so maybe you can probably lead the way on that particular thing. And I know you can get it done because I know you do a lot of like basketball and things of that sort. So if we can kind of get that done, I definitely appreciate it. Also, I would like to welcome your new officer. I had an opportunity to meet her, I think, at your national policing event down here, which was sensational also. And she does do a lot of dancing now, but she do a great job though. From the time I've seen her, she's always been professional and just a nice person. So congratulations to her for being a part of the Eatonville Police Department now. Um, Congratulations also to Mr. Sidney Silas and Mr. Damon Taylor for the certifications on the water certification that they got in the public work department. And I know you and I spoke about that a lot. You know, we gotta make sure that we're pushing the envelope for these guys to, you know, get more involved and almost making it a mandate that they do things that's gonna help them, and not just help them, but help the town as well. So I appreciate all the leadership that you display on a daily basis, Ms. Monday. I know you got a tough job. That's why I've always told you, even during budget time, that you need to be, you know, doing something, because I know you're very heavily involved with the grant that we get here, and then you're also doing the public works side. I don't think it's fair to you, especially with the pay that I think you're not getting and deserve. So hopefully we can look, you know, further down the line and facilitating that also. But it's just a thought. But thank you, and if all minds and hearts are clear, that's my report.
Councilman Matt. Councilman Daniels.
Yes, sir. Thank everyone for coming out. This past weekend, I laid a brother to rest, Mr. Eric Wayne Morgan, a dear brother to me and my family. And it's one thing that this whole experience always teaches me is that life is very, very short. So you have to enjoy every moment. And I've also learned that whenever someone is laid on my heart, I reach out to them. I'm not an emotional person, but for some kind of reason on my way here, his persona, his character just weighed on my heart. You know, it's just weighing on my whole being right now. And I thank Miss Irby for coming out and giving me her encouraging words. I ask that you pray for their family and just keep them in prayer, and also pray for the historic town of Eatonville. Have a good night. Thank you.
My turn. My condolences to all loved ones we lost over the weeks and days, especially with Mr. Morgan. I remember him as a young kid growing up right on college. Next to my auntie. I always call him in junior high school and the pretty boy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he never football, he ain't getting touched. Basketball, he gonna shoot and run out pretty. But he was a good kid. Saw him at one of my events. He didn't think I know who he was. He had a bald head, beard. I said, I know who he is, pretty boy. You know, so I told him when I saw him. Then when I got the news, I was like, what? I just saw him come, you know, at one of the events. And online on Facebook, on Dana page, when his best friend with his other best friends. You know, so that really hit, you know. So that's one thing that I tell you, like Councilman Dane said, life is real precious. I experienced it I was injured. I'm still injured. Without having that one of the hands, guys, and you use it all the time, trust me, you learn some new ways to do things quickly. And sometimes you be doing things like, I missed his hand. You know, I tell you, just be thankful. I think be thankful for your hands, man. Because I was like, button my shirt. I had my nephew button my shirt up. Not this one here, but when at another event I had to go to, I said, come button my shirt up, nephew. I come button it. So those are things we miss, you take for granted. You know. So that's one thing. I mean, I just tell you, just think about that. When something happens to you, just think about it. Congratulations to Sid and Dominique on their class they passed, and that's something I encourage all of them, you know, to upgrade knowledge in their field. When they do, that's everybody. I wish they do. I like definitely Marissa, because I called her in the hallway with my package. She said, "Where you want your package at?" And I think she came to overtime. She was off. She came in and my box was right here. She said, "I'm taking over there." I said, "What you doing?" My box right here now. So she learned some things while he was gone too. So, but she did a good job when he was out. And for our late vice president, we had like he's gone to he lost. You know, he's gone to the. I said his name earlier. So yeah, Dick Cheney. Yes. You know, and I think I really respected him when he came out and talked against this other president we have in place now. He was very, like he said some things like he's Republican. He said, well, he don't represent Republicans. You know, and he really don't. I mean, you know, if you know Donald Trump, he was a Democrat back in the day. So, he definitely, you know, used the Republicans to get where he had. But other than that, I like to say good night.
Mayor, if you will indulge me for 1 second, there was a statement made, I just want to correct, it's a council statement.
Yeah.
Give you a
Go
minute.
ahead.
No.
Can you come to the podium?
Come on
Yes,
up.
ma'am. Okay. So listen, the police worked for 6 weeks without pay doing the UCF games. And so UCF was like, I was describing the Katrina crazy thing. So they sent the checks. So
Oh, yeah.
the checks that you signed,
Just for that.
right, so that was somebody else's money and they've been waiting for weeks and weeks.
That was off duty. Yeah.
I just don't want it to seem like they're just gouging us for overtime. I don't want that narrative.
That's why I was explaining to her earlier that, they said no funds that they did off duty.
That's
work.
all, thank you.
And you do say those things, they'll get paid from the person they're working for. Like I said, they have filtered it back to the time, so the time they put in. There. But anything else to order? Like Mr. German? Second. Second, okay. All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Good night, everyone.
It is officially.